Hello bookworms! Today I'm here with my July book haul, and it is a big one because July is my birthday month, and obviously I wanted books for my birthday, so that is what I got. But I'm gonna do the same thing as I've been doing. I'm gonna start by showing you all of July's new releases that I picked up this month, and then I'm gonna move into the backlist books. Side note, I am drinking pumpkin chai tea because I am so ready for fall. I don't know about you, but I really want it to be like Halloween season and autumn and to just have lots of pumpkin stuff, and I've already been buying lots of pumpkin stuff, and I know that people think that that's too soon, but I don't care because I really love this latter half of the year. So one of the first books that I picked up in July is The Shadow Hour by Melissa Gray. This is the second book in the Girl at Midnight trilogy. This continued Echo's adventure after she finds out a huge thing in the first book, but I don't want to spoil anything. It's really good. I already read this one, and this was also really, really good. I actually did a vlog video of my experience at Books of Wonder because they hosted the launch party for Melissa's book. It was her and Virginia Boaker who wrote The Witch Hunter and her second book, which is escaping the name of me right now, but I have some clips from that, and I will be posting that. It either might be posted already or it will be posted shortly. I'm not sure of my schedule just yet. It was really fun, and I really, really enjoyed this book. I'm really excited that I got to read it early, and Melissa just continues to do like a phenomenal job telling this story, and I cannot wait for the third book to find out how everything is going to conclude. Then I picked up P.S. I Like You by Casey West. This is a contemporary romance, and Casey West is one of my new favorite authors of the year. I read her Pivot Point and Split Second duology in the beginning of the year and just fell in love with her writing style and that story, and since then I've been reading some of her other books, so this was like an instant buy for me and I totally needed it. And also, like, this has a very cute cover, but look at the spine. It's pink, so I love it even more. But actually I should probably tell you like a little bit what this book is about because it's a book haul. So it follows this girl who I believe she's in a chemistry class in high school, and she writes like a lyric or something on her desk, and then the next day she has a response from someone, and then she ends up communicating with this boy just through messages on this desk, but she doesn't know who it is that sits in her seat. So they form this like kind of relationship, and then I'm guessing that like toward the end of the book they're finding out who it actually is and if they're gonna work out together and stuff, and it just sounds really cute, and Casey West is just amazing at crafting young adult romances, so I'm really, really looking forward to getting to this one, and I'm probably gonna read it like super soon. This next book is something that I'm really excited for given my current like wishing that it was autumn vibe. But so this one is called How to Hang a Witch, and it is by Adriana Mather. This book follows a girl named Samantha who recently moves from New York City to Salem, Massachusetts, and she's actually the descendant of one of the men who conducted the Salem witch trials, and so she immediately becomes an enemy of this group of girls who call themselves the Descendants because they're the descendants of people that were executed during those trials, like of the witches. And I have just like, as soon as I read this synopsis, I knew that I really wanted to read it because they said that it's kind of like, it's like witches meets Mean Girls, and I love Mean Girls, obviously. And I really love anything to do with witches too. Like, I've always loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch and like stuff like that, Charmed. Like, I just love that when I was younger. So I'm really excited to read that, and that just sounds like a really interesting premise to me. Like, I'm wondering how these girls' pasts are going to affect their present life. Then I have Shiny Broken Pieces by Danielle Clayton and Sonia Charaparcha. I can never say her name, and I feel so bad about that. But this is the second book in the Tiny Pretty Things duology, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one because there was like a major bomb that was dropped at the end of the first book. So I like need to know how the rest of the year is going to play out, and this is a very, very big year because they're all competing for one spot in the ballet company. For those that don't know, this series is about like really mean ballerinas, and it's really, really addicting. And it takes place in New York City, and it's just beautifully written, and it has lots of diverse characters, and it's really, really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And again, another pink cover. I'm loving all of this pink this month. Then I picked up Paper and Fire by Rachel Kane. This is the second book in her series. I can't remember what the name of the series is, but the first book is called Ink and Bone, and I know that it takes place in a world where the Great Library of Alexandria was never destroyed, and there are people that are kind of trying to control like the knowledge that everyone in society has access to. I don't want to read anything about the second book because I haven't yet read the first book, but I picked it up because I know that it's a series that I'm interested in and I'm really looking forward to it. I just have to get around to it. Then, of course, I picked up This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab because I love Victoria Schwab and I will buy any book that she publishes. This follows a girl and a boy, and one of them is a monster and the other one is not a monster. This is a really bad synopsis from someone who's been like listening to lots of people talk about this book on YouTube. But actually, this book hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list in its first week of publication, which is like a huge deal, and I'm so excited for Victoria. So it follows a girl and a guy. The guy is actually a monster and the girl is a human, and they're kind of like their sides of the city are at war with each other, but the two of them have the power to stop it and to try to improve things for everyone, but they have to figure out how to do that and how to work together. And it sounds really interesting. I believe this one is a duology and the second book is coming out next year, but it sounds really good. I've heard really good things about it so far, and again, it's Victoria Schwab, so I know I'm gonna love it. Then, the last new release of the month that I have to show you, that is a novel anyway, is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I filmed a review for this. I think it's going up before I put up this video, and I will leave a link to that down below. But I really, really loved this one. It's just the next chapter in the Harry Potter series. It follows Albus Severus, who is Harry's son, and Scorpius Malfoy, who is Draco Malfoy's son. Don't worry, no spoilers. That's as much as I'm going to say about it, and it's wonderful. And in addition to getting this one, I don't know if you guys know, I can't remember if I hauled them or not, but I got all of the Ravenclaw Harry Potter books, which are up on my new third Harry Potter shelf. And because I ordered those, Juniper Books actually sent me a copy of The Cursed Child to go along and to match my Ravenclaw series. So I also have this copy of it, which just came in the mail the other day. That was a very pleasant surprise because I forgot that they said that they were going to do that. So now I have a matching set of these books too, which is exciting. This is really good. I'm sure that you've heard about it. I also made a vlog of my Harry Potter party day and like the lead up to the release, so I'll also link that down below for you to watch. The next book that I picked up is actually a backlist book, and it's Maggie Stiefvater's The Scorpio Races. This book takes place in November, so again, it's sticking with my fall theme. So it's something that I really wanted to read just to kind of like get into the spirit of autumn, but it's supposed to be really good. I obviously love Maggie Stiefvater's writing because The Raven Cycle is one of my favorite series of all time, and now that I've already read The Raven King and I don't have any other Maggie Stiefvater books in my life right now, I figured that it was a good time to pick up The Scorpio Races. So it takes place in November, and it is about the Scorpio races, which is something that happens yearly, and it's people competing on horses, and I don't completely know too much else about it except that it's a very high stakes game, and there are people that die and there are people that win, and I just can't wait to see Maggie's take on this, and I'm so excited. Then I have The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, and this is a book that I had seen a little while ago on BookTube, but I really had no interest in. And I think that it was largely due to the cover, which I know is unfair, but I started reading a little bit about it, and I found out that one of the characters in it is a fashion blogger, and that it really just piqued my interest. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, I think I might actually love this book. And a lot of people have been saying that this is one of their favorites of the year, which I like. It just seems so underrated, and like not that many people are talking about it. So I'm really excited to read it and to see like my own personal feelings on it, but I believe it follows a group of teenagers who live in a small town, and it's kind of, I think it's like their last year of high school, and they're all figuring out like how they're gonna kind of get out of this town, and they realize that there's, you know, more to life than just living in this small hometown, and they just want to like explore all of the possibilities. So it sounds really, really interesting, and again, I just really love that one of the characters is a fashion blogger because it sounds very relatable. Then I have Starflight by Melissa Landers, and a lot of people have already read this one because it's been out for a little while, but I had not yet picked it up, and I really wanted to, and the cover of the second book was just released, and that is kind of what made me pick up this one, because the second cover is so beautiful. It's space, and it's pink, and it just like reminds me of the opening of Star Wars, and I love it like so much. So as soon as I saw that, like I had been a little bit on the fence about this one, but then I saw that cover and I was like, okay, like I need to read that book, so that means I need to read this book. So this is a young adult sci-fi novel, takes place in space, and I don't know too much more than that, and I don't really want to because I kind of want to go into this one a little bit blind. Next, I got the first two books in the Royals series, the first one being Paper Princess and the second one being Broken Prince. These books are by Erin Watt, but I recently found out from reading Cassie's blog that it's actually two authors that just go by one combined author name, which I thought was interesting. Because these are called the Royals, I honestly, and like look at the crowns and stuff on the covers, I thought that this book was going to be about like teenage royalty, but it turns out that it's actually about a group of like a family of rich kids, and their last name is Royal, so that's why it's called the Royals. And I just heard that it's like fun, trashy, kind of Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl type-esque books. So it sounds like something like quick and fun, and Cassie enjoyed them. And we have very similar tastes in books, so I wanted to read it as well. This second one is actually a new release for the month. I should have probably put it in that category, but I wanted to keep these two together. Then I picked up Never Ever, and this is by Sarah Sadie. I honestly can't remember if I included this one in my last book haul or not. It's inspired by Peter Pan, so it takes place in present time, but it is kind of about a group of kids who never want to grow up, and they're very into like partying and stuff, and it's just like about their journey. It sounds interesting, and I love Peter Pan, so yeah. Then I picked up the Burn for Burn box set by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. So the first one is Burn for Burn. The second one is Fire with Fire. And the third one is Ashes to Ashes. I'm actually not even really sure what these books are about, but I do know that I only have one Jenny Han book left to read, and that is the final book in the Summer Trilogy. And I love Jenny Han's writing, and I have not read these yet, and I don't feel comfortable living in a world where I have not read all of Jenny Han's books. So I'm looking forward to finishing up the Summer Trilogy and then moving right into these so that I can just be caught up with everything that she's done so far. Then I got a couple books on Book Outlet. I picked up Winger by Andrew Smith, and then the second book, which is Standoff. This is a duology, and it follows a boy in boarding school, and I pretty much love anything in a school setting, but especially anything in a boarding school setting. Like, that sounds so good to me. My friend Michelle, who writes for the Pink Polka Dot book blog, she always talks about Winger, so I've been really interested in reading it and seeing what it's about, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next book that I picked up is one that is very underrated, but I've seen it get a little bit popular on some of the book blogs that I read, and that is Summers at Castle Auburn by Sharon Shin. This is a fantasy novel, and it follows a woman who used to be a girl, obviously, and she spent her summers at this place called Castle Auburn, and she was very into witchcraft, and she's experienced a lot of loss in her life, and as she's grown older, a lot of things have changed. Now she's living at Castle Auburn, but she is in fear for her life, and I don't know why, but it sounds really good, and I've just heard amazing things about it, so I'm really, really looking forward to getting to this one. The next book that I picked up from Book Outlet is The Heiresses by Sarah Shepard. I'm just like noticing that the cover is like Central Park, so that's fun. Sarah Shepard is the author of Pretty Little Liars, as you probably already know, but I believe this is an adult novel, and it follows a group of very rich heiresses, and one of them commits suicide, and everyone's like really upset about it, and then one of her cousins actually receives like a very ominous message saying 1 down, 4 to go, or something like that. So obviously there is something going on, like there's somebody that is hunting these heiresses, and then maybe it's not that she committed suicide, there's somebody that's actually like out to get all of them. So it sounds really interesting. I know that there were supposed to be more books in this series, but so far this is the only one that has been published. So as much as I want to read it, I'm also a little bit hesitant because I don't want to like get really invested and then not be able to find out the end of the story, because there are also no plans online for Sarah to publish the second book. So I'm debating where this is falling on my TBR list. Then I have Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn, also known as Morgan Matson. This is another like pen name that she writes under. So I really like Morgan Matson's books, and I haven't read any of her Katie Finn books yet, but I want to see if I enjoy them, because I imagine that I would if I really like her other books, but we'll see. Then I have 2 middle grade books to show you. The first one being Star Wars Jedi Academy, A New Class. This was actually sent to me by the publisher, and I always thought that these Star Wars books looked really cute, but I haven't read any of them, so I feel like this would be a good opportunity to like get into them, since it's a new class and I won't have to necessarily read the previous ones. It sounds really funny because it's about a kid who transfers to Jedi Academy, and he's like all excited because he's like, I'm gonna be the super awesome Jedi, and then he talks to Yoda, and Yoda's like, you should join the drama club. So this kid has to put on a musical at the Jedi Academy, and that just sounds so funny to me, because he's like, I'm gonna be like using lightsabers, but then actually he's gonna have to be figuring out lighting on a stage or something like that. It just sounds like so entertaining, and I feel like this is gonna be a really funny read. And with it, they also sent me this really cute Jedi Academy ID card. So it has like Jedi Academy on the front, and then if you open it, it has a Star Wars Jedi Academy student ID, so I can actually take a photo of myself and like fill everything in and have my own ID card for the Jedi Academy, which I think is really cool. And then the other middle grade book that I have to show you is Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians, which is the first book in this Alcatraz series by Brandon Sanderson. Obviously, I love Brandon Sanderson's adult books, but I have not read any of his middle grade. And this follows a boy who receives a mysterious bag of sand in the mail for his 13th birthday. And then he is tasked with trying to stop these evil librarians. And it sounds like it's going to be really good. It's Brandon Sanderson, so it has to be. Then I have an adult nonfiction book, which is a little bit different than something that I would normally pick up, but you'll understand why I had to in just a moment. It is Starting Point, 1979 to 1996, and it is all about Hayao Miyazaki. For those that don't know, Hayao Miyazaki is kind of like the mastermind behind Studio Ghibli. So this book is like a collection of different interviews with him and essays about his childhood and his like theories of animation, and it just goes like all the way back from his childhood up until when he started Studio Ghibli. So it's all about like, it's just everything that went into creating it and like how he got there, and it just sounds so fascinating to me, because if you have seen any Studio Ghibli movies, like they're just such a beautiful take on the world. So I would imagine that all of his essays and interviews will be incredibly intriguing and engaging, and just something that I'm really going to enjoy. Then finally, I have 2 cookbooks to show you, and then I'm done. The first one is Easy Eats. This is a Bee and Puppy Cat cookbook. This just came out, actually it came out August 2nd, but I'm filming this book haul a little bit late, so that's why it's in this one. It has Bee here on the cover and Puppy Cat holding some knives, and he's wearing a chef hat, and he's like trying really hard to look scary, but he's Puppy Cat, so he doesn't look scary at all. And it's actually just like a cookbook by Natasha Allegri, who created Bee and Puppy Cat. It seems like something that I would really enjoy because it's all easy eats, so it's things that are like pretty easy to make. There is a food section. There's a recipe for pancakes. There's a recipe for eggplant, frittatas. But I'm gonna get to like the section that most appeals to me, which is the dessert section, obviously. There are beach sprinkle cookies and Puppy Cat's in a really adorable bathing suit. Peanut butter and jelly thumbprint cookies, cardamom and lavender tea biscuits, mini chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, Thai tea whipped cream. There's just like so much in here that sounds really good. And then on top of that, it has super adorable illustrations. So that's also like a good reason to get this, just because it's like very cute. The last cookbook was actually a birthday present to me from my cousin Rachel. And it is the Cookies and Cups cookbook. This Cookies and Cups is a baking blog that I have been following for a long time. And she just came out with a cookbook. So I've been wanting to get it. It's been on my Amazon wish list, and Rachel thankfully picked this up for me. It was such a fun surprise to get it in the mail. Thank you again, Rachel. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna be making things from this very soon. So those are the many books that I got in July, and I hope that you enjoyed my haul. I hope that you also picked up a lot of books that you're excited to read. Let me know some of the things that you got, or if you're interested in any of these books, if you've read them already, you know the deal. And yeah, I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!